What's up guys, over here with video about Starknet. Today we're gonna be talking about Starknet Airdrop, about STRK token and my personal predictions regarding the price. And then we're gonna dive into DeFi Spring program that starts today. As usual, nothing here is financial advice, always do your own research, and all links gonna be in description. We're gonna start with Starknet Airdrop. If you somehow don't know, the claim has been open since February 20th. You can, if you're eligible, obviously, you can claim your allocation of STRK tokens. In total, 1.3 million wallets were eligible. Not all of them are regular users. There are a lot of categories, but for regular users of the Starknet, the eligibility criteria were very, very modest. However, a lot of people didn't get it for one reason. One of the criteria were that you must have a certain amount of ETH. That was a minimum of 0.005 ETH in your wallet, and it has to be specifically ETH. So no other tokens were taken into account. No liquidity provisions were taken into account. You needed to have ETH. So what that actually teaches us, if you're farming for other airdrops like ZK Sync, for example, always keep, I would suggest at least 0.01 ETH in your wallet at all times. So currently that's around like $30, just below $30. Because that can be a difference between you getting the airdrop with like 1.5k and getting zero. And again, if you for whatever reason didn't check your eligibility and didn't claim your tokens, the link's gonna be in description. You just go to provisions.starknet.io and you can check and you can claim. Now, what happened with price on launch day? So for whatever reason, first there was Bybit where trading started. Then on Binance it started like 1 hour after the Bybit. So on pre-launch trading, on Whales market, on Evo, price range was 1.7 to $2 per token, which already put the token at 17 to 20 billion fully diluted valuation. I mean, it is pretty high because Arbitrum was sitting at 20 bill. So when trading started on Bybit, token was surprisingly traded above 3 USD. Per token, and when Binance opened, it went higher than 4. Now, if you look at CoinMarketCap graph, for example, it doesn't show that, but it was there. I was tracking it every minute pretty much, trying to claim, because my plan was, well, it was based on the price, but when I saw this crazy price, obviously plan was to sell it ASAP, because the price like higher than 3 is completely like absurd. 4 USD per token basically puts it at 40 billion FDV, which is like twice as much as Arbitrum, and there is absolutely no reasons for that. But anyways, price slides down to like 3 and was sitting at 3 for several hours. So people who got lucky with the claim, they were actually able to sell it at 3 plus. Now, as for claim itself, obviously, first of all, chain got a bit congested. Then the claiming interface was experiencing some issues, and if you were able to go through, you got into the queue. So I was unable to start claiming process for like several hours. When I finally get it, I was in queue for, I think it was position like 88k. And it took me another like 3 to 4 hours to get my tokens. So at the beginning, I was kind of frustrated, like, oh, so many people were able to claim before me. But actually, as I got closer to the start of the queue, I saw a lot more people piling on. It was, I believe, around like 280,000 people in the queue when I was about to get my tokens. Nevertheless, I just basically sent it to Binance and sold it. I think it was around like 2.18. So my allocation of 650 tokens, I got just slightly above 1.4k. Now, regarding the price, My personal prediction is it's gonna be close to Arbitrum. Obviously, we need to let the dust settle at least for several months, because in the next couple months we're gonna have pretty big unlocks. But in general, I would say the FDV of the Starknet is gonna be fairly close to the FDV of Arbitrum. Now, some time ago, I believe in November, when Starknet actually announced the airdrop, they also announced they will be allocating 50 million STRK tokens in the form of DeFi incentives. So we as users gonna get 40 million in incentives. That sounds like a lot. However, this campaign is gonna be pretty lengthy. So this campaign starts today on February 22nd, and it's gonna be active for 6 to 8 months. Also says that program is expected to last until October, which means that would be 8 months in this case. And for our approximate calculations here, we're going to be using this number, 8 months. So the TLDR is there are a number of eligible protocols. These protocols will get tokens from the Starknet Foundation, and then they're going to reward their users. Protocols distributions are determined and distributed every 2 weeks, so have these epochs for every 2 weeks. At the end of each period, allocations will be made based on the review of the network's activity and the participating protocols' compliance and performance. So this is very important, because it basically says that the allocations of tokens is not going to be equal. That's how protocols get their tokens. For users, each participating protocol will design, announce, and execute an incentive program to reward participating users on their platform with their allocation of STRK. Participating protocols will distribute all the STRK they receive to the users. Each protocol will be responsible for their own distribution and may have different programs for how and which users will be able to earn STRK. So the first round will begin on February 22nd, with users being able to claim the allocation of incentives from protocols by 7th of March, so 2 weeks. And then we got the list of protocols that we're gonna take a look at in a bit. But also there is a second part to this campaign, and that's quests. So this is on Interact, and there are gonna be quests associated with this campaign, and you're not gonna get any direct rewards from it in the form of the tokens. However, there are some rewards in the form of NFTs. I don't know if these are going to be tradable or not, but if you already like doing activities within these protocols, maybe you want to do the quest as well if you want to get the NFTs, or maybe you're farming XP on the Interact platform. I personally probably gonna skip the quests and just do the DeFi part to spend as little time as possible on this. So now let's check the protocols that are participating. First 2 weeks, only DEXs. So we got 10K, Ikubo, Heiko, Jedi, MySwap, Nostra Swap, ETH Swap, and Stark DeFi. Keep in mind that anything that is not listed here, you're not gonna get any incentive. Then, when the second phase starts, it's gonna be on March 7th. We're gonna have lending and borrowing protocols. This is ZK Lend, Nostra, Vesu, Nimbora. I only know the first two. I don't know about Vesu and Nimbora. And then phase 3 starting on March 14th. So that's only 1 week after phase 2. There's gonna be added Carmine and ZKX. These are derivatives trading platforms. So what are key points here? If you want to participate in that, obviously before doing anything in Texas, for example, for phase 1, be sure to check their Twitter, their Discord for the exact rules regarding the incentives. I personally checked MySwap, I checked Heiko, and I forgot, I checked something else. And basically, for all 3 protocols, rules were the same. they had 4 exact pools that are incentivized. These are Ethereum USDC, one stable pool, USDC USDT, and 2 STRK pools, STRK ETH and STRK USDC. So these are pretty much the same, but they may differ on other protocols. Be sure to check. The second point, for the majority of people, there is no point in providing liquidity in all these protocols. So I suggest picking like 1, 2, potentially 3 protocols. Here I would say your main criteria would be the general profitability of the protocols, so like APRs on pools, and also as additional potential incentives, maybe you're farming for the potential airdrop in the future. Like for example, in the case of Nostra swap, we pretty much know there's gonna be an airdrop. There is a point system in place. We already talked about Nostra. In the last Starknet video, we talked about the Kubo. And also regarding Nostra, since there is also lending market there, during phase 1, only pools are incentivized. So keep that in mind, that your lending and borrowing positions are not going to be incentivized. So again, regarding protocols for phase 1, obviously we have a lot of options here. You can choose what you like. Regarding phase 2, obviously zkLand and Nostra going to be probably a must in my opinion, considering that both protocols probably going to airdrop, while Nostra have high probability, obviously. As for Veso and Embora, I don't know these apps. I will do some research on those and decide at the time. And then obviously derivatives, I think it's gonna highly depend on what allocation they're gonna get compared to like lending markets and DEXs, because the majority of TVL is gonna be there. But traditionally, trading is rewarded more than liquidity on perps. But we're gonna see. Now let's do some rough calculations on how much can we actually expect in the form of these incentives. So if we take that this campaign will run until October, that means 8 months. That means 5 million tokens per month. And let's say that's 2.5 mil tokens for one epoch, roughly. So 2 weeks, 2.5 million tokens. And let's just say tokens gonna be $2. So that's 5 million USD in incentives for 2 weeks. Now then, obviously, it's all gonna depend on the whole TVL in these protocols. Now, if we look at L2BIT in terms of TVL, you see this giant spike because L2BIT actually measures the value of all tokens on the network. So we're not too interested in this TVL because we care about TVL that actually sitting as LP inside protocols. For that, we can check DeFi Llama. So what do we see? Right now, we're sitting just below 60 mil TVL in the protocols. As you can see, the majority of these TVL is locked inside top 5 protocols, that be Nostra, Ikubo, zkLand, Jedi Swap, and MySwap. So I would guess that we can get to, let's say, 200 mil in TVL sitting inside incentivized pools. Not all pools, incentivized pools. I think that may be a bit high estimation based on the fact that I personally don't see too much hype around the Starknet. There are also tons of incentives currently running on other networks. In DeFi, I mean, you get incentives on Sui, on Aptos, on Avalanche, not all protocols, but some protocols. But in general, there is a lot of competition, so I think it's possible that we're not even gonna go to 200 million in TVL phase 1. But let's just say we're sitting at 200. This basically means that on average, you should be getting 2.5% in STRK incentives for your liquidity provision in 2 weeks. That's quite substantial, and it's gonna be on top of your regular DeFi incentives. So I'm probably gonna allocate 1 to 2K for phase 1 of this campaign, and then based on the results, I will decide whether or not I want to continue providing liquidity. Probably in any case, I will continue until phase 3, during phase 2, because I want to get extra Nostra points. I want to get extra, potential like retroactive actions on ZK land, and also just for the potential airdrops of the dexes. That's also like good. But as usual, not financial advice. Think for yourself. And as I already mentioned, there are tons of alternatives now where you can park your money in DeFi and get very good yield. In the next video, we'll be covering the incentivized protocols on Sui network. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Please drop a like, and I'll see you next time.